Welcome back, Urban Nation Radio World. Reality Tell Your Vision, episode 3. Ashlee, a lot of inspiration, a lot of knowledge that you're throwing our way. We would like to switch gears to a more serious topic right now. Ashlee, you are working with a former NFL wide receiver for the New York Jets named Tavon Mason right now. I'm publishing your books, and he is from Baltimore, correct?
Yes.
And there's a lot of rioting and things like that are going on in Baltimore right now. What is your perspective on everything?
It's really interesting because I think we have the tendency to just group a complex thing and just a riot. You know, it's a singular thing, but there are so many different aspects and emotional standpoints that go into it and thought processes, but we try to simplify it, oversimplify it. So Tavon is somebody, you know, I don't go into business with anybody I don't care about or develop some type of personal relationship with. And so to know that his mother was living in Baltimore, lives in Baltimore. He's lived in Baltimore up until November. You know, he just moved to Baltimore, right outside of Baltimore. And to think of that fear, you know, to think of how that impacts the everyday life of somebody. You know, we may watch the news and we see it today and tomorrow it's a different story.
Right.
But what type of impact does that leave, you know? And I mean, I'm glad that they're safe. I'm glad that they're okay, but it's a scary thing. You know, even living in Detroit. I mean, it's Detroit.
Yeah, it is.
It causes you to start to think of different things, and I think we move so far past it and so fast we move past it that we don't realize that it does change our impressions about different things or thoughts about different things, you know. The police are somebody who we trust and we look to protect us.
Right.
We think, you know, I mean, nobody likes getting speeding tickets, but you don't think of anything that's going to happen. I just actually took Nico. He had a field trip last Wednesday, and one of the stops along the field trip was going to a police station. And it's a challenge, you know, today in our world to take the negative and be able to break it down so that it doesn't scar you permanently. You know, I looked at that officer who was interacting with the children, and he was so kind and so nice, and it was so great, you know, to see with all the negativity surrounding policemen and the community, to see my 4-year-old godson walk up and hug a policeman and just see him as this man. And he says, I want to be a policeman, you know, but it's just scary. And it's honestly, it just gives me the encouragement to keep doing what I'm doing because children don't have the ability. They don't have that same option to remain children now.
Right. I think one thing that I think I'd love to leave is what you're saying is you done it with actions. And what I mean by that is people can always dwell on the other people. And when you dwell on yourself, I always say hurt people only hurt people.
Absolutely.
Okay. So when you look at that aspect, then you go back into what we want other people to see, not what people forces want us to see. We want them to see something different. And I think by us, the new generation, you just saying all these very barrier-breaking things you're saying. I'm talking about not trying to go work for 30 years, not trying to do those things. Things that my parents would never think they would be successful. So that's something we're doing. We're doing things that are sky's the limit. So to have that mindset and to not let people that's still stuck in the 60s, you know, because there's two batches going on right now. We got the people that are stuck in the past and people that are already, the future started yesterday. They're already into year 2025. And so that's what we're trying to do. And I love how you're doing that because that's the mindset and that's the visuals. That's the visionaries that we need because, you know, you're painting a picture with your actions.
Right.
So that's why I would say Baltimore and all those things, they're looking for people like us that are going to paint the picture that everything's going to be okay.
Absolutely.
Well said, Chief. So, I don't brighten. Let's get back to you, okay, Ashlee? Now, can we expect any work in the future?
Oh, there's always something that's coming out or happening. Right now, one of the biggest things, tomorrow I'll be at the Oakland Livingston Human Services Agency conference, and I'll be teaching educators how to do the literacy come to life workshops, right? Because one of my biggest things, you have to put ego aside. You have to stop expecting perfection. You have to let people change it to make it better and bigger. And so one of the things I'm working on now is duplicity, because trying to write and run a business is a very challenging thing. I have the same 24 hours as everyone else. So what we want to do is we want to be able to reach more children. We want to empower educators to take story reading time, and make it even bigger. And also, they have a lot of children in the classrooms. How can we take one book and make it the lesson for the entire week? What kind of different things can we add to tweak it, to make it better? Because our children are faced with a different reality than we faced when we were growing up.
Absolutely.
The family structure, the economy has changed so much, and I believe that children are the forgotten component. They're the forgotten piece of our world now.
And we're being remembered.
Absolutely. So Literacy Come to Life is getting bigger. We're going to schools and different organizations to teach other people how to do the Literacy Come to Life workshops. Tavon Mason, really great. He's already written 3 stories, which is awesome. But our first book we're going to do together, and it's called Tavon Does It All. And what that is, Baltimore is very similar to Detroit as far as literacy issues go. As far as African American male youth not wanting to get engaged in the literacy process. So we're trying to capture that. My books are traditionally more about a diverse audience. Tavon has a very big passion for literacy, for the youth. He works in schools now. He has his own foundation. Tavon loves the kids. And so he does a lot in the community, and we're using his platform, his imagination, his passion to reach those forgotten youth.
Shout out to Tavon.
Hey, Tavon.
All right, Baltimore Ravens. Okay.
So we like to conclude our conversation by going over. See, I like to say, a successful life is determined when everything is all said and done. You look back on what you accomplished in life, and if you have more satisfactory accomplishments compared to regrets, I think that contributes to a successful life. So when you grow older and you're not doing what you're doing today and you're starting to retire, what are some of the things that you wish to look back and say, I did all of that? What are some of the things that will define your success?
I think one thing that's really funny about me, follow me on social media, you'll see I love to take pictures. Our life goes by so fast, and I think success is one of those things. We think about it as a mainstay, as a permanent, as a pinnacle that you reach, and that's it. And I don't believe in that. I believe that success is like creating a masterpiece. Every brush stroke, every color that you use, every shape, every angle, it goes into creating this masterpiece. Right. So for me, I think every day I try to do something that makes myself proud, makes me feel like I'm being successful. I think success is it should actually be used as an active thing, not as a sedentary thing. Yeah.
And what you said, very powerful. That's why I say we're reinventing what the world thinks things should be, like Social Security. That's gone. But retirement. Retirement. My father always said, he said, there's no such thing as retirement. Because your passion or what you really love, that doesn't die. And so retirement is an illusion, okay? Just like money's an illusion. Everything's an illusion. Everything is made real because we believe it to be real. Right. But when we start to question, like she said something very groundbreaking again, is, hey, I'm never going to retire because every day is a masterpiece. And we're all creators and artists. And that's what this show's supposed to bring, is art. And art never dies. It's free.
Inspiration.
Well said, Chief. Now, Ashlee, as I wrap up this show, I would like to ask you, there's a lot of young people out there who are going to school, who are trying to become an entrepreneur, and that are going through the ups and downs. Now, based on your life experience and what you had to go through, what are some advices that you would like to give to these people?
Keep at it. Always be willing to reinvent. The biggest thing that you can use to succeed in life is adaptability. Everything's not always going to go the way that you plan it. And that's a good thing, because our sight and our understanding is so narrow in comparison. If you have a spiritual background such as I do, that higher spirit, God, we can only see on the horizontal plane. but he's so much higher up and can see so much further than we can. So a lot of times we limit ourselves on those possibilities. So don't. When it doesn't go your way, it may be a reason. I'll tell you a story because I was very emotional last week. I had contracted somebody to do a mural for the new book, and I want to hang it up when I go to events, and I thought that would be a nice way to bring children in. Right. Well, when I went to go pick up the mural, the price I agreed on, the lady doubled it. She doubled it. And being an entrepreneur, you learn to sacrifice. You don't have a lot of resources, especially if you don't come from a background where people fund you. And I don't. This is me, my own investments every single day. Wow. Right? And so I was terribly upset. I was almost ready to quit. I cried. I was like, nope, forget it. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Right. This is expensive. And then she doubled it. Right? But I had a very great support system who was like, no, you're not going to quit. You can figure it out. And they supported, let me cry and everything. Right? That night, I found a printing company who could actually print the cover of the book on a banner for a fourth of the price that she was charging me, right? Wow. That night. And I had it for the event Saturday. You saw my humongous banner, right? So then, I'm a Groupon girl. So I got on Groupon. I was like, I wonder if Vistaprint could do this. So I found a Groupon, $27 for $70 to spend on Groupon, right? I got another banner made for half the price that the second banner was made. Wow. Right? And then I'm using a coupon for it. So those are the little things. You will want to quit. I'm going to be honest. It won't always be easy. But if you have the passion, be willing to commit to the passion. Don't think about the actual project because that is a limited thing. Your passion is endless. You have magic. Every person has some magic that they can use to make anything succeed.
You hear that? You're all beautiful.
Ashlee. Give it up for Ashlee.
Thank you so much.
Ashlee, I know you inspired a lot of our listeners today. You inspired me. Megan, you were inspired today.
Oh,
Chief, I know you were inspired. You're nodding your head over there. Ashlee, give us some links that people can contact you, where they can get their hands on your books.
All right. So on social media, I always try to post every day something on social media. On Instagram, you can follow us at DT. That's the letters DT, LIBY, LIBY, books. On Instagram and Twitter. And then on Facebook, you can follow us at DT LIBY Publishing. All 3 books are available on Amazon. I do signed copies. You just contact me through email, Ashlee, ASHLEE, at dtlibypublishing.com. Have our website, dtlibypublishing.com. That's under construction. We're going to have a lot of things, even for educators, to take the workshops into their classrooms on there. Free coloring pages, free activities for children that complement the new book, Thomas and Mia's Happy Tummy Hunt. And because I believe that the message and the information in that book is so important, May 1st through 5th from Amazon.com, you can download the ebook version of that book for free.
For free?
For free.
Yeah.
And what's your life motto again?
Dare to let it be you.
There you go.
Now, Ashlee, Reality Tell Your Vision is all about giving a platform for people who deserve recognition. People with positive mindset, positive vision, and people with talent that deserve to be recognized. And I think you are a perfect example of that. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming on to our show and representing our 3rd episode of Reality Tell Your Vision.
Thanks, Leo. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm honored.
And every Thursday, 7 p.m., Reality Tell Your Vision, www.urbannationradio.com/live. Every Thursday, tell your friends. Look us up on Facebook at Reality Tell Your Vision. Everybody, have a good night. Have a great weekend. We are out.
Love you guys.
Peace and love.